Did the fact that you were a pretty young father, did that have any effect on how long it took you to start your own firm?
It did, because I knew I couldn't mess up. Um, when you don't have as many responsibilities, you can start over, you can mess up, and that's the way life works. But I had my son when I was 18 years old, so it didn't afford me the opportunity to make as many mistakes. Because if I made a mistake, it didn't just affect me; it affected my son. And working in big law or working on the defense side, I made a lot of money. So I'm gonna give this up, a steady paycheck, and I'm gonna give this up in the hopes that people will call and hire me, versus those big law firms with all the marketing budget. Why are they gonna call me? How am I gonna succeed? But I felt like I could do it, so I just stepped out on faith, and it worked out, thankfully.
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot of faith, a lot of courage to give up those golden handcuffs and go out and start something like especially like a personal injury firm because you unless you start with a bunch of cases already, you are in the negative for several months before unless you get lucky and a wrongful death case walks in through the door and you settle it right away. Like that's you're in the negative. So how did that affect your decision making to open up a personal injury firm?
Um, that's a great question. I'm gonna answer your question, and I'm gonna come back and talk about that wrongful death case that walks in the door. But I I didn't want to open up a personal injury law firm. Once I made the decision, I started putting fillers out, trying to find other law firms that I could go work for. I never wanted to operate my own law firm. And every lawyer that was interested in me wasn't interested in paying me what I felt like I was worth. And let's be honest, everybody thinks they're worth more than they really should be paid. Everybody. I think I was pretty reasonable, but it just wouldn't work out. So I was forced to have to open up my own law firm. So I saved up what I thought would be enough money to carry me and all my overhead for 8 months. So I saved up to dip into my savings, sold some of my investments, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna be able to do this. I got to month six, which was January 1st. So going into the seventh month, I had no money to pay rent. I had no money left. Um, but it worked out to where on the I opened on July 1st. 7 days later, which like I got a phone call, and it was a wrongful death case. And the individual that unfortunately lost his life, not going deep into the facts, 11:30 at night, dark road, no lights, and they're walking in the middle of the roadway, and had been drinking and stuff, and they were hit. So everything was pointed to them being at fault. But I fought the case, I filed on it, and then November they offered me 6 figures. They offered me 6 figures, and I hadn't made any money. I had made no money since I opened because all these cases that are coming in, they're pending. And I saw my money was running short, but I refused to settle that case because that's not getting the client what they deserve. Then somehow in July, the attorney that got assigned to it, I guess they realized that I wasn't going to back down, and they actually tendered the policy limits. So the first case I ever resolved happened to be a very large case, and it came at a time when I told all my bill collectors, I can't pay you. I'll get y'all whenever. If I didn't have lights, oh well. I'm not selling my clients short. But everything worked out.
I guess that takes a lot of guts. Where does that come from? Is that something from your background? Because that's not something that's easy to do.
I don't come from a lot of money. I don't. I'm not, and I am comfortable with not having. Even when I worked at my first part of my career, I made good money, but I didn't live above my means. I'm comfortable. I don't need this. And when I opened up my practice, part of my drive came from seeing so many lawyers while I was on the defense side that I felt weren't doing it correctly. They were worrying about how much money they were going to make. They were worrying about their business and not worrying about the client. The client, which is a number. My law firm will never be about a client being about the number. It's always about the client, not about me or anybody. So Yeah, I could have put some good money in their pocket and I could have made the largest amount of money that I'd ever received at one time in my life. But that was not fair to the individual that lost their life or to his family. And I would have, yeah, there's no way I would have sold them short.
Do you think that your clients at the time that they understood the pressure that you were going through?
Oh, they never know the pressure. I'm not going to sweat in front of people,
Yeah.
no matter what. Cool, calm, and collected. No matter what I'm going through doesn't matter. It's only a matter about the client. So there was no need for them to know anything about what I'm going through. I had the skills and had the resources to make sure they got the good result, and that's all they knew, and that's all I cared to share with them.